Okay, in this video we're going to talk about adaptations to exercise. Now what's interesting is that exercise leads to changes within muscle. And we know this just anecdotally, if someone starts exercising, their muscles, become larger. But it's more than just that. So what we find is that with aerobic or endurance exercise, example of this would be things like jogging, swimming, biking. Because of this aerobic activity, muscles end up increasing the number of their capillaries to deliver more blood flow, increasing the number of mitochondria, that way they can make more ATP, and increase myoglobin synthesis, that way they can store more oxygen. Now all of these things result in greater endurance, strength, and resistance to fatigue. So if you're talking about training your muscles to be able to accommodate for activities like jogging long distance or swimming or biking, due to these functional changes and structural changes in muscles, you're going to get greater endurance, strength, and fatigue, and resistance to fatigue, rather. Now, what we find then is that fibers can also convert their type. So what's pretty cool is, let's say that in a muscle you have a lot of fast glycolytic fibers. Now remember, these ones are the ones that actually are not very fatigue resistant. And although they contract rapidly, they actually fatigue very quickly. And because of this fast fatigue, they wouldn't be very helpful during jogging, swimming, and biking. So we find is that the fast glycolytic fibers can actually switch their variety or type into the fast oxidative. And this conversion is actually just a change in gene expression within the same cell. So you're not switching cells, but you're actually just causing one cell to change its molecular properties from those which are more consistent from the fast glycolytic type to new, proteins and molecules that are more consistent with the fast oxidative variety. Now, in terms of resistance exercise, we typically talk about this as anaerobic, like weightlifting or isometric exercises. Now, this leads to the most muscle hypertrophy, mostly due to increase in the size of your muscle fibers, but it also causes an increase in mitochondria, myofilaments, glycogen stores, and connective tissue. Ultimately, this leads to increased muscle strength and size. It can also switch the fiber type too, so you might get more fast glycolytic varieties. However, remember, these are fast fatigable, and although they can be strong for quick bursts of energy or time, rather they're going to fatigue very quickly. And so, but depending on if that's how you want to train your muscles, this is a type of exercise called resistance exercise. Now, the reason why you'd increase the number of myofilaments, well, that's just more sarcomeres, so you actually have more contraction force. Why more glycogen? Well, just storing more sugar for glycolysis to occur, and that way that muscles can function under anaerobic conditions. And then more connective tissue, because if these muscles are resisting a whole lot of tension, they're going to need a lot more connective tissue in order to not tear. And so what's interesting is that when people take up resistance exercise, they can see early gains in muscle strength through increase in like myofilaments, but their connective tissues haven't really fully formed yet and grown to accommodate this. So you see things like muscle and tendon tears early on in resistance training.